Hey guys, so it's time to do this video where we will be comparing the Samsung Galaxy S4 versus the Sony Xperia Z. So it's Sony versus Samsung, it's their flagship smartphones for 2013, and I still haven't got the HTC ONE yet, but yes, I'm working on it. But today we'll be doing this quick little video here, checking these out, comparing them a little bit. So the first thing that we want to check out, of course, is we want to check out the price, so we know what we're dealing with over here. So I'm just gonna open up the price by app here, and then search for Xperia Z versus Sony. Some people say Sony Xperia Z. You can also say Z. There we go. Oh, oops. I need to connect to my internet, of course. So this is the GTI 9505. Okay, I hate that. So this is the GTI 9505. It's not the GTI 9500 of the Galaxy S4. That means that it's not the octa-core version. This is the more of the European and US edition. So when we take a look at the price here, we can often see that these devices are new, of course. The Sony Xperia Z has been available now for like around a month, a little bit more now. So of course it's a little bit cheaper. So you can see that you can get it for around 400 the price is around 400 to 700 pounds, while the price more on the new Samsung Galaxy S4, of course, is higher, 560 to around down to like 650 pounds. So you will have you can save, you know, a little bit money here. Okay, it seems to be having some problems here, but it seems like you can save some money, 100 to 200 bucks here buying the Xperia Z. Okay, that is weird. Let's try this one. Sometimes I get that problem just because I have so many devices connected to my network. And that's something that, you know, happens when you are a tech reviewer and stuff. You have so many gadgets connected, and sometimes you don't know where the problem is coming from. Hopefully that's fixed now. So you can save around 100 to 200 pounds here on the Xperia Z. So is it worth it? That's a very, very good question. In this video, we'll be going over some stuff: form factor, software, the UI, hardware, you know, the full specs, testing some apps, and then hopefully I can, you know, at the end tell you my opinion, and then maybe you can make, you know, maybe you enjoy watching these videos. Then of course it also is very nice. But we're gonna start off here, of course, checking out the form factor. So, I mean, like, the first thing that we can see about these two devices is that they have kind of the same size. That is because they have the same screen size, 5-inch. And it's also, they both have, you know, 1080p screens. So they both will share the same kind of almost form factor here. But there's some differences here, of course, though. The Galaxy S4 is a little bit more rounded off here in the design. And then also it has a hardware button here on the front side, so you can wake up the screen from the front side. And then it has those two capacitive touch buttons that Samsung has been using on all of their other devices earlier as well. So back key, you have the menu key also. While on the Sony Xperia Z, you can't wake it up on the front side because there's only a screen here, and it comes with 3 virtual keys at the bottom, but they're built into the screen. So you need to wake up the phone here on the side, and then you can wake it up, and you still see no you know, buttons down there, but when you wake it up like this, you can see them there on the screen. And something that I find a little bit annoying, maybe just is because I'm not used to it, but I like to wake up my phone on the front side with just one simple click. I can't click on the Xperia Z to wake it up. I need to like use 2 hands or hold the phone like this just to wake it up. I find it a little bit annoying, you know, but that's just a personal little thing over there. As I said, 5-inch screens here. You do have some new sensors up here on the Galaxy S4 that you won't be getting on the Xperia Z, like an IR sensor and some other cool things like a barometer sensor, some pretty crazy stuff. And then also we can see here, if we continue on to the right side of these two devices, on the Samsung one we do have used the normal key here for turning the display off, of course. While on the Sony Xperia Z here we have a little bit of a different design. First, down at the bottom they did decide that they wanted to have the speaker over here, so a little bit weird place for a speaker, I would say, because when you have your hand like this, you have your speaker there, or when you play games like this and when you have your hand over there, if you hold your hand here, you will block the sound. So if we continue up here, we can see that they have volume up and down keys. They decided to put that on the right side of the phone. And then also over that one you do have the power key. And then also on top of that you do have the, where you can insert your SIM card. That is how they decided to make that design. If we look at the left side here on the Galaxy S4, we do have volume up and down keys like they have had earlier as well. While Sony have decided to make a different thing here. First they put the SD card here. You can see it's protected by this little flip thing, because this phone is water and dust protected or resistant. So you can drop this phone in water. But then of course you need to have these. But you can insert an SD card in this phone. Then also it has a dock connector here if you don't want to open this one up all the time. Or I mean, at the top here, on top of that one, you do have the micro USB port for charging your device. But if you don't want to open that one up all the time, Sony was actually clever enough to have two little things here. So they will send you a like dock connector, so you can dock the phone in, and then you never have to open this one if you use the dock connector. And I got the dock connector along with the device, and you should probably also be getting that. And if we continue on to the bottom side here on the phones, where here Samsung decided to put their micro USB there to charge the device up, like most of other companies also are doing. You don't get anything here at the bottom on the Xperia Z. On the top side also you do have a headphone jack behind this little thing that you need to open up. While of course also you do have the headphone jack here at the top on the Samsung Galaxy S4. Also in terms of material wise here, we can see that the Galaxy S4, if compared to earlier generations, it has this like wider like side here. It seems like Samsung got a little bit inspired by Apple and also Asus with their Asus Pad phone, because I kind of like when they have like wide sides, not as rounded off as on the Galaxy S3. First of all, I think it looks a little bit more exclusive. It doesn't feel like aluminum, it feels a little bit more like plastic also. So that's of course one bad thing here with Samsung, that it might not feel as exclusive as the Sony Xperia Z. And when we continue on here to the back side, we can definitely feel that the Sony Xperia Z here feels definitely more exclusive with this glass back. And then also the Xperia Z here is very, very good because it has this kind of like rubber material side. So when you put it down on the table, it won't move around. It doesn't have that problem that the iPhone 4, the iPhone 4S and the Nexus 4 had, that when you were putting them down on the table and you tried to zoom in, the device started to move around. Now that was annoying. So you get like a very, very nice exclusive front side here, like glass material, feels very nice. And then you get this glass also on the back side, and then you get like a rubber material here, almost this kind of same feeling here as the Nexus 4. So I do kind of enjoy that. It is pretty nice. One thing though that is pretty bad here with this device is that you get those virtual keys built into the screen. So that means that first of all, I'm unsure why they didn't just remove this little part of the phone. It just makes the phone bigger. So the phone is a little bit bigger in dimensions than compared to the Samsung Galaxy S4, but you get a little bit of a smaller screen. And also, I think that they should probably have a little bit more of a rounded off design. For me personally, this one fits a little bit nicer in the hand just because of its a little bit more nice rounded off sides. But that's also, of course, just a personal little thing there. But if we continue on here, on the back side, we do have 30 megapixel cameras on both. And I've been checking out a lot of, I did check out GSM Arena, and clearly it seems like the Galaxy S4 has a better camera, both in terms of video quality and also in terms of camera quality. They did make a lot of different testings of, different cameras, different qualities. And sure, the Xperia Z here has HDR video mode, but it's not as good in panorama mode. And it can't take, the Galaxy S4 has a dual recording mode where you can record for yourself plus using the back camera. So you can record yourself and then record whatever you're now looking at. So of course that is pretty awesome. And also panorama mode in the Xperia Z only has like very low quality pictures, while you get a lot higher there in the GS4. But you can take a closer look at that on GSM Arena's website. They actually did an excellent test of that. But if you continue on now, continue on, and and also in terms of the speaker, also it seems like it did perform a little bit better on the Galaxy S4 if you ask GSM Arena. So of course that also is very nice. Also, you should remember that if you would drop this Xperia Z in water, the speaker will sound a little bit weird or very low for around an hour or so maybe, because that's just my experience when I've tried it out. And I can also say in terms of durability, in some ways the Xperia Z isn't that good, because I have actually accidentally dropped the device a few times, and then of course the glass back ain't that good. And also it seems like when I made a knife screen scratch test video with this Sony Xperia Z versus a Galaxy or an earlier Galaxy phone, this one actually did break, and not just the screen but the parts behind the screen. So the whole display, not just the glass on top, did actually shatter. So of course that is not that nice. While you get a newer generation of protection on the Galaxy S4, the newer Gorilla Glass 3 version, which is also pretty interesting here. So if we continue on, of course, if you take a look at the UI, we can say that both are of course having Android installed. And in many ways, it's very much the same experience, but you get different skinned UI. But as you do know with Android, you can actually download different firmware, so you can get kind of the same look and feel on both these two devices in terms of software UI. But right now, you get the latest version of Android when you buy the Galaxy S4, which is the Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean release. While right now on the Sony Xperia Z, you only get Android 4.1 Jelly Bean, but 4.2 should arrive pretty soon. And of course, here on top of both these two Android versions, you do first have TouchWiz UI, which is Samsung's own custom-skinned UI that they put on top of the stock Android experience. To change some stuff to so of course Samsung also can put in their own custom apps and tweak settings and stuff, while Sony also of course have their own kind of custom UI here that has kind of a similar feel to it, and a little bit more slimmed down. Don't like on the Xperia Z that you don't have this up and down brightness slider here, so you have to go into the settings here, even though I think the settings area actually looks a lot more modern than what it does here on the Samsung Galaxy S4. It looks a little bit old, like Android 2.3 here. I personally believe in the Galaxy S4, but Samsung has made some awesome updates to TouchWiz. Now they have more of a tab system to move around in the UI on your device. So you can see that they have, you know, tabs for connections, my device, accounts, more. Earlier it was just like this, you scroll up and down. Now, you know, people, you know, might prefer different things, but I think actually this tab system is better. I mean, you just look at web browser today, most people do prefer, you know, to tab, you know, to have different tabs. And so, of course, these two phones have their own different apps, like Sony has their own, you know, album and Walkman apps and movies apps. But in general, they will, you know, mainly kind of work the same here. And of course, Samsung has a ton of new things, like you can see here the new Store album, Walking Mate, S Health. They have some air gestures, so you don't even have to move the device with your hands to actually control stuff that's going on. So you can see here when I'm on the lock screen here, you can see here that the phone actually recognizes that I'm on top of the screen. They have smart pause, smart stay, and smart scroll, also some features that we'll be taking a closer look at here in the future. Yeah, so the UI is you know, an interesting thing here. I can also say that in terms of experience, when you go inside of menus here, the Galaxy S4 definitely feels a lot more smooth here. It feels like, you know, with the newer Android 4.2 Jelly Bean that it comes pre-installed with, and it seems like Samsung really has worked on making the experience feels a little bit more smooth here than what you do get on the Xperia Z. Something I've been annoyed by a little bit with Sony, that their, you know, UI update here could be a little bit more optimized. But that could also be some, you know, some small things for some people maybe. But of course you can dig, you know, deeper into this, but let's just continue on here and checking out some of the hardware actually. So we will be starting to take a look here, and you say that both these devices of course are 4G smartphones. So, you know, you get LTE speeds wherever you are, so, you know, superb speeds. When I'm gonna do some quick browsing tests, I'm of course just gonna use my own you know, Wi-Fi network here at home, so it will be a fair video. In terms of the screens, of course you get the Super AMOLED screen here on the Samsung Galaxy S4 that, you know, Samsung still keeps surprising me. It's a 5-inch one, you know, full HD resolution, 1920x1080. Samsung really do surprise me, because this display actually looks a lot better than earlier generations. Feels like they like calibrated the colors even one more time, because the screen really looks amazing compared to earlier Galaxy S3, you know, earlier Galaxy Notes phones and everything. People that watch videos with the Galaxy S4 is saying that it looks unreal, that it looks like it has a sticker on top of this phone. But no, it is the display. It has amazing viewing angles, same as of course earlier generation Galaxy devices. But really do look amazing on the sides, and also with the new Gorilla Glass 3 protection on top. It really is an amazing display. I mean, it's so vibrant. Colors look so colorful. Wow, on the Xperia Z here, you get this TFT display with poor kind of viewing angles when you look at it from the sides. You don't want to have really poor viewing angles, or at least I don't want to have that, but it's also a good display. I mean, like, you know, full HD also. It has this shatterproof, you know, thing that Sony do send out the device with. You can actually take it off. And the poor thing is that they didn't, you know, built it in, so, you know, if you want to take off the shatterproof little thing here, the Sony logo will disappear. Thing I don't really understand why they did that. And also did, you know, use a knife on top of the phone, and actually I did break the display, and that phone actually thrown it away right now. So, you know, don't do that. Don't try knives or anything on the Sony Xperia Z. The display probably will break. Also a poor bad thing with this shatterproof display on top. If you take a knife and try to scratch, you will see, you know, really big scratches, and that's not that nice. Wow, you can do the same thing on the Galaxy S4 probably, because I tried this on the Galaxy S3, and the Galaxy S4 you know, should be even better with the new version of Gorilla Glass. You can, you know, do this how much you want, and, you know, nothing kind of will happen if you don't do it extremely super mega hard, but you shouldn't do that. But just to sum it up, I mean, the screen isn't also not as bright here on the Xperia Z. And it's not as colorful. Some people might prefer that, you know, say it looks more real, but for me, colors is everything. Colors really is everything. Of course, you also do have SD cards on both these two devices. You know, SD cards up to like 64 gigabytes. But with the Xperia Z, also, you know, just come in one internal variant and with internal storage, and that's the 16 gigabyte variant with 2 gigabytes of RAM. While of course the Galaxy S4 comes in 16, 32, and 64 gigabyte variants. So that could also be good to know that if you really want to max out memory, you should go with the GS4. In terms of cameras, as I've been saying, 30 megapixel camera on both these two devices. You get a little bit higher in megapixels, 2.2 megapixel front-facing camera on the Xperia Z versus the 2 megapixel one on the GS4. Now, I did check out the full, you know, full look here at the camera, you know, test on GSM Arena. And they did a lot of very good quality testing, and what they were saying is that, you know, and also I did check it out on the pictures, in almost every single test the GS4 was better. The thing that was better though, you know, in terms of, you know, taking pictures at night, you know, it seems like the white colors was a little bit oversaturated on the Xperia Z. The only better thing here on the Xperia Z here was that they had like an HDR video mode. Of course, you do have also different kind of you know, superior audio mode. You have a normal mode. You have a burst mode. So in the panorama mode, that's something that's getting, you know, coming in every single phone right now. You have a scene selection mode, of course. Anti-motion blur. You can play around with these: night scene, pet, beach, party. You know, those classical ones. But in camera, also in video mode, it is better on the GS4. You can check out the test yourself. I'll see if I can leave a link in it in the description to it. So you can see here also that the Galaxy S4 has borrowed the Galaxy camera, the Galaxy camera's UI. So it looks totally different compared to the GS3 and earlier Galaxy devices. So you have a mode button here. With first the auto mode, the night mode, and it tells you, you know, when you should use it and stuff. So they really help, you know, maybe also, you know, especially old people, take pictures or for fast movements. Panorama mode. Now try out the panorama mode, and sure, it takes pictures in high quality and saves it compared to the Xperia Z, but it was actually very hard for me in the beginning. So the camera mode, you know, definitely in the Galaxy S4 camera software, you may have to, you know, play around with it a lot more here. You have the HDR video mode, animated photo, drama mode, sound and shot, the best face mode, best photo, beauty face. And then also you can see here that of course you can also record a video and take pictures at the same time. I'm not really sure if yes, you can. I'm pretty sure you can do that on Xperia Z, but then the pictures won't, you know, be in that of a high quality. So of course also that's a little bit disappointing here. So if we continue on now and check out some other cool awesome things. So let's see here. So let's continue. So something that could be interesting to know here is that both these two phones, they do share some internals actually. In terms of chipset, both are having a Qualcomm like APQ8064 chipset, but I'm pretty sure it's an APQ you know, 8064T chipset on the S4, while it's just an 8064 on the Xperia Z, but I might be wrong on that. And I'm pretty sure it's Snapdragon 600 in both these two devices. As I said earlier, I'm using the i9-505 GS4, which is the one that people use in Europe and US. And then like India, they get the octa-core version, which is having another processor. But the Snapdragon 600, I'm pretty sure that is what you get on both, or at least it is in the GS4. So that could be good to know. And the processor is quad-core, of course, in both these two devices. But it's clocked at 1.5 GHz in the Xperia Z, while it's clocked at 1.9 GHz in the GS4. So you get way better results over there, you know, both in terms of performance, but you know, also, you know, on if you look at specs. Also the GPU is the same here, a Adreno 320 GPU, and I'm pretty sure that GPU probably is clocked at the same over there. So same GPU there, the Adreno 320 GPU, same as you will get in the Nexus 4, and I'm pretty sure the HTC ONE also might use that one. And it's good that, you know, many of these flagship devices use the same kind of GPU, because then you can, you know, then it's easier for the developers to produce games with, you know, good, you know, optimizations. Also, in terms of battery, we can see that we get a battery of 2,330 milliamps inside of the Xperia Z, which is a little bit higher than the Galaxy S3 from last year. While I get a 2,600 milliamps in the GS4, and also I did check out the battery test, and it seems like you know, in 3G talk time, the Xperia Z could be a little bit better. You know, but in terms of video mode, if you watch a lot of video on your phone, you get almost twice video viewing time in the GS4 than on the Xperia Z, and this was something that I also did see on the test that they did on GSM Arena, so you can just check it out over there if you want to, of course. So now I want to take a quick look here at the browser, and you know, just have a quick look. You get the Google Chrome browser inside of the Xperia Z. So let's go here, and of course Samsung has their own kind of built-in browser, but of course you can also download Google Chrome browser if you want to. When we go to the desktop version here, something that could be better actually with the TFT display on the Xperia Z is that white probably looks a little bit more white in my eyes. So like TFT displays or just LCD displays in general seems to be displaying the color white better for my eyes than Samsung's Super AMOLED screens. So when we are here, let's see how it is in terms of, you know, zooming in and stuff. So you can see very easy. Maybe it takes a little bit too long there to render when you go in here. Seems like it's a little bit snappier here on the GS4, but a little bit weird when I try to go in and or go up and down. Something I did notice with the GS4 browser compared to the GS3 is that I can't zoom in longer. I'm not sure if it has to do with the Qualcomm processor or something, but I want to zoom in more. That's not something I can do here either on the Xperia Z. Could be because they're having the same kind of chipset, but I find it annoying. I really want to zoom in even more. So it would be fun to see if I can do that on the octa-core version of the GS4. What else is there to say? The performance, you know, is pretty much the same. You get 4G LTE, but I definitely think the white color looks better here on the Sony Xperia Z. So if we now also quickly take a look at some, you know, quick gaming, you know, we should kind of expect the same kind of performance maybe. You can see here also that the S4 loads up quicker. And something also that could be annoying with the Sony Xperia Z here is that it has virtual keys. So if you touch those in the game, you will get jumped out of the game, and that's something that happens to me sometimes. And definitely the display looks better here in the GS4. The colors looks so much better here.
Welcome to Hawaii.
And it looks up games so much quicker, as you can clearly see here. What? Oh wow. Okay, so I'm not used to this kind of controls. They're not the way they should be. Oh my god. But there is the gaming here on the GS4 Asphalt 7 runs really good. I mean, you can't like expect better performance on an Android smartphone right now. Feels, you know, this is the performance that is very good. Huh, did I change the controls? Because they are not how they should be. Okay, let's check out the performance here on the Sony Xperia Z. So the performance here also is very good. But the problem here is that the matte display, the virtual keys is a little bit annoying for me personally. And then also, if you hold your hand here where the speaker are, you know, you hear the sound just disappears. And if you hold your hand there a lot, like I think a lot of gamers do that, it's gonna be annoying to have the Xperia Z. But the performance is really good. Very, very identical to the GS4 here. So that's some fun testing here on a game. Let's continue on now and check out some other awesome things. Let's just quickly check out, let's see here if we can fire up Kindle, you know, some quick reading on your device. I don't actually think I just have to download that from the Play Store. So Kindle, if you didn't know already, that's a reading app. And I kind of do, you know, reading on my devices a lot because I like to educate myself. And, you know, a lot of people find it interesting. And I also did see a comment about one person that wanted me to make like a reading test because there's not that many people actually reviewing and comparing reading apps. So I think I'll be doing that a lot more here in the future. And Kindle is, of course, connected to Amazon. So, you know, every book on Amazon, you know, you can get it on your Kindle and on your device, and it is just superb. So I'm just going to type in my account here, and then I'm just going to sign in. Okay, there we go. So let's see if we can fire this one up. No. Okay, let's see. And then let's just fire up the Amazon Kindle here also on my GS4. So, what can we say about these two devices? I would still say again that white do look better here. White do look better here on the let's see here. Which one do I think looks the best? I would say the Xperia Z still with the TFT display. But I mean, really, it is pretty tight. What can I say about the, you know, 1080p on both these two devices? Of course, the display, you won't have any, you know, problem. You can have very, very small text and you won't have a problem. You won't see, you know, it will be very, very crisp. And also the brightness of the display definitely looks brighter also, you know, with the LCD display when you see a lot of white colors. So that could also be definitely very, very nice to know there. So reading, you know, that's of course very, very nice on the Xperia Z, definitely for its price right now, £400 or something. So yeah, quickly look at that. Let's now just also take a look at some quick benchmarking because people always like, you know, doing that benchmark. So we'll just be firing up a, let's just go first with Antutu, and then we can fire up another test. So hopefully this will probably take a few minutes. And it will try out the CPU, the GPU, and some stuff like that. And then also after these comparisons, we'll be summing some stuff up. Like, why would you want to buy like an Xperia Z? Why would you buy a GS4? So it's finishing up right now. Okay, so we got a score of 20, almost 24,000 on the GS4. I got a score of 20,000 here on the Xperia Z. It's still a very, very good device. So we can see the biggest difference here between these two devices are definitely the CPU clock. So that is clock at 1.9 GHz quad core on the S4 really makes a difference compared to 1.5 GHz. You know, clock at 1.9 GHz versus 1.5 GHz. That is what makes the biggest difference here. And in terms of RAM, also a little bit better on the S4. The GPU also a little bit better on the S4. I/O a little bit better on the S4. But in general, you know, this is a very, very capable device. You know, still, even though it may sound like I'm very, very negative in this video, we'll be taking a look at also a very heavy, program here to benchmark with. We should probably, you know, be getting the same kind of performance, but you know, it's still fun. So it's called the 3D Mark program. I'm gonna run this Ice Storm little test. And this will probably also be going on for a few minutes, but definitely worth it. And wow, that is a nice display. You can really, really see how amazing the S4 display is. I mean, even me coming from a earlier Galaxy device, I think it looks amazing. Whoops. That was a failure. There we go. Got a score now. Coming up soon now on the S4. Sweet. So we got a score now. Oh my god. So we got a score of 8,444 on the Xperia Z, versus we got 11,214 here on the S4. So clearly it is a winner here as well. So to sum it up, like, why would you pick a Xperia Z, or why would you pick up an S4? I mean, like, you probably know already where I'm going with this. Like, there's just, the S4 is the winner. That's how it is. The things that's better. What can I say about the Xperia Z? Why would it be bad? Well, it's water and dust resistant. So if you are in water a lot, dust maybe could be good for you. That's a cool feeling with the glass back, but sure, you can drop it and then it won't be as cool. You have HDR video, but overall the camera is not better. It's cheaper. I would say that's the biggest selling point with the Xperia Z. It's cheaper, okay? It's cheaper. Why would you want to pick up the S4? It's you know, overall more durable, removable battery, better CPU. It is more smooth in menus, and you know, the UI, you can feel the software is better. I would say the screen also is better. You know, it really looks like fake almost. You know, it has a bigger battery as well. It has the latest version of Android as well, and it has more sensors. Like, it has this bar meter sensor, a thermometer, hygroscope sensor. It also has air gestures that I will be taking a look at more in the future, like smart stay, smart scroll, and you know, smart pause. It also has a better speaker, you know, better camera, and also the speaker location is not in a weird place. And also it's a little bit more slimmed down, but you get still more screen for the money, because on the Xperia Z the virtual key is built into the screen, so it gets a little bit smaller. And also that you can wake up it on the front side. You know, it is nice, and also it seems like the LED flash also is better. So I mean, overall, the Xperia Z is it's a good device. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, Sony has improved themselves a lot since last year, but still, I don't think they're there yet. You know, but you can, you know, if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like. I work hard to do these videos, or I mean, like, it takes a lot of time and, you know, some preparation stuff. And we'll see. You can please tell me what video you want to see in the future, and, you know, leave a like if you like this video, and if you have any, you know, different video ideas, you can leave them on my channel discussion page, and also I'll leave links in the description if you want to check out these phones. So yeah, right now, you just have an awesome day, and I'll see you all hopefully in the next video. Yes, peace.